Hello students, I am Cynthia from GEMS Polytechnic College and we are in subject called estimating and costing. Okay, so our subject code is 1615503. So we are in lecture 14. So in this lecture we are going to learn about unit 2. Okay, so we are going to have a review on unit 2. Okay, so that are the things, what are the things we have learned in the unit 2. Okay, we are going to revise in this unit 2. Okay, and also we are going to have some key points about each and every topic, and after seeing this or learning this lecture 14, you will have a knowledge about what are the things in unit 2. Okay, so content of the lecture, what are the contents here? Detailed estimation and the factors, methods and the steps of detailed estimation. Then the detailed specifications of class buildings. Okay, so in the specifications, we are going to learn the specifications of first class and second class buildings. Then specifications of PCC, plain cement concrete for foundation. Then partly paneled and partly glazed window shutters. Then AC sheet roofing specifications. Then cement plastering specifications. Then uncoached rubble masonry specifications. Then the brick work for superstructure specifications. Then the formwork for RCC specifications. Then how to lay the marble mosaic tiles in the floor. Then what is the format of these are the specifications. Then we are going to learn the format of sheets. Okay, format of abstract sheet we already know, right? Format of measurement sheet, abstract sheet and phase sheet. Okay, so these are the things we are going to, we will have a just overview about unit 2. Okay. Okay, so detailed estimate. Okay, so detailed estimation means what? We know detailed estimate means it is the accurate method of estimating. Okay, so we have two types of estimation: approximate estimation and detailed estimation, right? So in the first unit we have seen about approximate estimation. So approximate estimation means it gives the approximate cost of the structure, right? Then detailed estimation means it will give the accurate value when compared to the approximate method. Okay, by doing this detailed estimation we will have a knowledge about each and every item's cost and how much quantity we are using and the total cost of the structure. Okay, and the separate rates of all the items. We can through this detailed estimation we can have a complete knowledge about our all our works, the works step by step work procedure, and how much cost is needed, how much labor is needed, then how much rent we need to give for the labor. So everything we will have, we can know from it, from the detailed estimation. Okay, then this is accurate method. Then the second point is the quantity of each item of work are calculated from the complete set of drawings. Okay, so it is nothing but we can get the quantities values from the complete set of drawings, like a plan, elevation and sections. Okay, so from the drawings we need to take the quantities of each items of work. Okay, so that we can get the accurate cost of the structure. Okay, so this is called as detailed. Then what are the methods of detailed estimation? Okay, we have two methods. The first one is unit quantity method and the second one is total quantity method. Okay, so unit quantity method means it is nothing but we can get the cost, or we can get the quantity values from the record of the similar structures. Okay, we can get the quantities and its cost from the similar structures, and we have to calculate the cost of our structure. That is called as unit quantity method. In the unit quantity method, before getting the quantities and its rate from the similar structures, we need to check, or we need to notice, consider whether the consider five things. Okay, like price, then location of site, then soil conditions and foundation conditions, the number of units in the structure, similar structures. Okay, so before getting the quantities and its rate from the similar structure, we need to consider these things. Okay, Okay, so this is called as unit quantity method. Then the total quantity method. Total quantity method means what? We can get the quantities and its values with the help of the detailed drawing. Okay, that is called as total quantity method. Then the second point about total quantity method is we need to divide the structure into different components, and we need to calculate the different each component value, and after that we need to add all the values and we can get the total cost of the structure. Okay, so that is called as total quantity method. So we have two methods of detailed estimate, unit quantity, total quantity. Unit quantity means we need to get from the similar structures the quantity and cost. We need to get that values from the similar structures. Total quantity means we can get the quantities values from the from our drawings, and we need to split the structure and we are going to find the cost of the structure. Okay, so this is about methods of detailed estimation. Then our next topic is steps in preparing the detailed estimate. Okay, so what are the steps here? First one is we need to this is a basic steps about doing the detailed estimation. Okay, so what is the first step? First one is we need to divide the whole project. Okay, then second point is we need to enter the detail of measurement of each item of work in the measurement form or measurement sheet. Then the third one is we need to calculate the total quantity of each. Okay. Then the last one is the cost along with the rates are entered in the abstract form. Okay, so this is the steps in preparing the detailed estimate. Okay, so first one is we need to divide the project and we need to enter the details in the measurement sheet, and we need to calculate the total quantity of each and every item. Then the last one is we need to enter the cost along with the rates and quantities, cost, everything in the abstract form or abstract sheet. Okay, so this is how we can prepare the detailed estimate. Okay, so we are entering into specifications. Okay, so specifications. First one is what we are going to learn the two specifications of first. We are going to learn the first class and second class building specifications. Okay, so how we are splitting the class buildings. It depends upon the standard and norms of the building construction. Okay, so for example, if it is a first class building means it will have some unique specifications. Okay, so if we have that specifications means only we can call that as a first class building. Okay, so if we need to use the in the first class building we need to use the first class bricks, and we need to lay the bricks over the cement concrete over the cement mortar. Okay, for example I am telling, so this is about first class building. So we can see what are the specifications of it, which is I need to just give some key point, okay, about first class building. Okay, so first one is what? Foundation and plinth shall be of first class brickwork in lime mortar over lime concrete of some proportion. Okay, so then the second one is DPC. Okay, in first class building the DPC shall be of 2 centimeter thick cement mortar. Then the height of the rooms shall not be less than the 4 meter. Then in case of bedrooms, bedroom shall be colored and polished with 2.5 centimeter cement concrete over 7.5 centimeter lime concrete. Then in case of shutters, that window shutters, that shutters shall be teak wood 4.5 centimeter thick paneled, glazed or partly paneled and partly glazed. It is nothing but in the windows you can see, right, in the upper portion you will have wooden windows, wooden shutters. In the down portion you will have glazed in the glass shutters. Okay, that only, that is called as partly paneled and partly glazed windows. Okay, so for everything you are doing, it will have a proper specifications. Okay, so these are the specifications of first class building. So second class building, it will differ slightly from the first class building. So you can check our notes. Then the next topic is PCC 1:4:8 for foundation concrete. Okay, PCC means it is a plain cement concrete. So some key points about it are the cement we are using. It should not. It should, if it is if we kept that cement for more than 16 days means we need to test. We need to give that cement for test. If it is found satisfactory means only we can use it. Then the stone should be of 40 mm size. Then fine aggregate. For example, see, for PCC we are going to use the cement, coarse aggregate and fine aggregate. That specifications only I have mentioned here. Okay, so stone means it will be of 40 mm size. Then the fine aggregate it will pass through the 4.75 mm square mesh. Okay, then the proportion I have told, right, 1:4:8, that is cement, sand and ballast. Okay, so then consolidation. Consolidation means we need to compact in the foundation trench, right? So that concept, we need to put a hole, we need to do water hole test. Okay, so whether we have done the consolidation correct or not, for that purpose we are doing that. Okay, so this is about PCC. Then the next one is what? Partly paneled and partly glazed window shutters. Okay, partly paneled, partly glazed means I have told, right, in the windows upper portion you will have a wooden shutter. In the lower portion you will have a glass shutters. Okay, so that is called as partly paneled and partly glazed window shutters. Okay, so we are using timber means the timber should be of Indian teak wood. Okay, these are the standard norms. Okay, then the panel shall be framed into grooves for a full depth of groove leaving an air space of 1.5 mm. Grooves means wait, I'll show. Okay, so in the yellow color you can see, right, I am highlighting that. So this is called as groove. Okay, so in the shutters or windows or doors you can see, right, so this portion is this line. Okay, that is called as grooves. Okay, so that grooves, the panel shall be framed into grooves to a full depth of groove leaving an air space of, it should be of leaving an air space of 1.5 mm. Okay, then the glass should be of 7.5 kilogram per meter cube density. Then the length and the width of the shutter shall be measured to nearest centimeter, be measured in centimeter. Okay, so this is about 9 points about partly paneled and partly. Then next one is AC sheet roofing. Okay, so the slope. Okay, we should have an imaginary roof. The roof. Okay, so that's the roof should be of non. Usually it will be of 1:3, but it should not be greater than 1:5. Okay, this is the first one. Then the maximum spacing of purlin under the sheets shall be of 1.6 meter in case of 6 meter thickness sheets. Okay, it is nothing but purlin. Purlin means what? It is a horizontal beam, right? Which is used for the structural support in buildings. Okay, so we need to lay the roof on the purlin. Okay, so if it is a 6 mm thick sheet means the spacing of purlin under the sheet should be of 1.6 meter. Then if it is a sheet will be of 7 mm thick sheets means the spacing should be of 1.4 meter. Okay. Then the sheets shall be secured to purlin and other roof members by means of 8 mm. Okay, so sheet will be secured to purlin and other roof members by means of we are using JRI hook bolts. Okay, that diameter should be of 8 mm. Then the wind ties. Okay, wind ties, that is not tiles, that is ties. Okay, wind ties. Okay, wind ties shall be of 40 mm cross 6 mm. So in the image you can see, right, this is called as wind ties. Okay, so it is used to prevent the high wind. Okay, so for that purpose it is inserted in the roof. So that dimensions will be of 40 mm cross 6 mm. Then the next one is cement plastering for a brick wall. Okay, so this is cement plastering of brick wall. What are the specifications? Plastering work, it is nothing but the brick wall plastering work. So what are the specifications here? The thickness of the plastering shall be as specified as, okay, the plastering should be of 12 mm. Then the surface thus prepared shall be kept wet for at least before doing plastering work. We have to the surface there shall be kept wet for at least 6 hours prior to plastering. Before doing the plastering work, the surface should be kept wet for at least 6 hours. Then all other specifications are as we have discussed about PCC. The same for here also, cement plastering work also. Then uncoarse rubble masonry for foundation. Okay. So uncoarse rubble masonry, there is not that much important points to discuss here. So uncoarse rubble masonry means we are using stone, cement, with stone, cement, sand and water. Okay. For foundation we are using. Okay. These are the materials required for uncoarse rubble masonry. Okay. So this is called as uncoarse rubble masonry. It will be of uneven shape. Okay. Here also there will be other specifications will be same as discussed for PCC work. Okay. Then brickwork for superstructure. Okay. So for brickwork, what are the materials we needed? We need brick, we need cement, then we need sand, then we need water. Okay. So here also brickwork, there is not, we won't have that much extra specifications specifically for brickwork. The cement, brick and sand and water, it will be as same as the it will be of same as the UCR and PCC work. The brickwork will have the preliminary work and the procedure of execution. Okay, so in the preliminary work, like before using the bricks for superstructure, the bricks shall be fully soaked in the clean water by immersing in a tank for a period of 12 hours. Okay, immediately before the use. Then like a procedure, like we will have a mortar mixing. Mortar mixing will be of proportion 1:5. Then we need to lay the courses. Then curing work, then scaffolding, then the brickwork, it will be measured in cubic meter. Okay, for superstructure. Then the specifications of formwork for RCC work. Okay, so formwork means it is nothing but the temporary mold through which the concrete is poured. Okay, so for pouring the concrete, it uses a temporary mold. Okay, it will be of timber or steel, etc. Okay, so it is usually used for columns and piers, etc. Okay, so these are the specifications. Okay, specifications means the diameter of ballies shall be of 100 mm. So ballies means it is nothing but it's a pole. Okay, in the props you will have some hole, right? So that diameter should be of 100 mm. To keep the ballies is used to keep the formwork shuttering in place as the concrete dries. Okay, for the strengthening purpose it is used. Then the second specification is for shuttering the timber plates or steel plates we can use. Then important thing is we need to remove the formwork without damaging the structure. Okay, so for that purpose when we need to remove is first we have to remove the side of the column, beam and wall. Okay, for a period of after 48 hours only we need to replace or we need to remove the side of the column, beam and wall. Okay, next we need to remove the underside of the slabs after 7 to 14 days. Then underside of beams and slabs of about 14 to 21 days. Okay, so this is about the formwork. Okay, specific. Then the next one is what? Marble mosaic tile flooring. Okay, so what are the specifications here? The tiles should be of required nominal size and manufactured under the press machine. Okay, so nominal size means we have nominal size and actual size. Okay, actual size means it is a true size. Nominal size means what? It is a size of it which when it was first cut off, before it was dried and smooth. Okay, before the drying and smoothing works, it is called as the tiles measurement. That is called as nominal size. Okay, actual size means after after drying and smoothing, okay, of tiles, that we can take length and breadth, right? So that is called as actual size. Okay, so the tile should be of required nominal size and manufactured under press machine. In that marble mosaic tile, that in the previous PPT itself I have shown one machine. So it will be manufactured under press machine. With in that machine the tile should be kept and it will be under pressure of 140 kg per centimeter square. Okay, the pressure is most important. Then the second point is what? The tile should be laid over a thin layer of cement paste. Okay, it is nothing but before laying the tiles there will be lime water. So over that we need to lay the thin layer of cement paste of about 1.5 mm thickness. Okay, after that only we can lay the tiles. Okay, that is the second point. Then the third one is what? We need to clean off. Okay, we need to clean off the tiles. the joints by using gray cement grout with a depth of 5 mm. Okay, so this is about then the format of measurement sheet. Okay, so what is the format of measurement sheet? We will have a description, then length, breadth, and depth. Okay, so measurement sheet means what? It is nothing but it is a record of measurements taken for the selected item. That is for calculating the quantity of various items of structure. Okay, this is the measurement sheet. First, we need to enter the quantities into this measurement sheet. Okay. Then abstract sheet. Okay, so abstract sheet means what? It will have the same thing, but it will have a description of item, quantity, unit, rate, per item cost or rate, then the amount. Okay, then the total amount. So abstract sheet means it is nothing but the cost under item of 4 calculated from the quantities already computed at workable rate, and total cost is worked out in a prescribed form. Okay, so it is nothing but abstract sheet means it will have quantities and its rate and each per unit rate and the total amount. Okay, along with the quantities, along with the rate, it will be mentioned in the abstract sheet. Then phase sheet. Phase sheet means it will have in which division, then sanction, estimate, number. Okay, so for why we are doing this estimation? To get a sanction of our approval of our building only. We are doing this estimation, detailed estimation. Okay, so here in the phase sheet and through this phase sheet we will get all informations. Okay, we will get a signature and everything through this. Okay, minor head, department head, everyone's signature, and in which place it is that construction is located. So everything about it will be in phase sheet. Also will be there. Okay, we can get through this sheets. Okay, so this is about the second unit. Okay, so in this lecture we have discussed about the detailed estimation, factors, methods and steps, then the checklist, then the detailed specifications of class buildings, AC sheet, roof, etc., then the format of sheets. Okay, so in the next section we will continue with Unit 3 is called as mode of measurement. Okay, so we are going to learn in the coming lectures. So these are the books we need to refer for. So this is about today's lecture. We have done with lecture 14, review on unit 2. So in the next lecture I will meet you with unit 3, introduction, unit 3, mode of measurement, how to measure. Okay, so then other things we are going to learn in the coming lectures. Okay, thank you.